Something funny happened yesterday I want to tell you about. I got kicked out of a meeting this morning. July 10th, 2022. I keep doing meditations on my acupressure mat. I thought I'd try to see some of my past with Ivo, but instead I went to his ship, the Tianya, in real time. I checked the bridge to see if he was there as he usually is, but then I got pulled away to a conference room. Being pulled is like your energy feeling heavily suctioned and then whipping over quickly to the area you're supposed to be in. It feels like the suction is coming from behind you. If I was using this body, it might be a bit unsettling. Ivo was at the head of the table because I guess he called the meeting, and right to his left were Commanders Aaron and Hara. They all saw me and all communication shut down because it was classified as I was told, and Ivo asked me to leave. When I appeared to them, I saw Hara and Aaron. I pointed and called them, "Here comes trouble," and "Here comes trouble." Hara had a big grin on his face as usual, and Aaron just kind of lowered his head and shook it side to side. He's actually joking. He enjoys his interaction with me and loves to tease me. I threatened to haunt other parts of the ship, and Ivo said that's impossible, they all know me. So I just left. Nobody's in the mood for a joke today, it seems. Too much serious business. There were other commanders and managers there too, but nobody I recognized, yet. So, on with our video subject. Create safety for yourself. The other night I was driving home. I turned off the main street and onto a smaller neighborhood street when two cars raced down the main street I'd just turned off of. It was Saturday night and they were drag racing each other down the main street. One of the cars was souped up and it was really loud, and that always scares me. Just think, had I not turned off onto the side street, I could have been in the middle of their drag race, and believe me, they were going fast. I could have been in the middle of that, but I wasn't. Why? Timing. It just wasn't in the cards for me to end up struggling to drive in the middle of two cars having a drag race. Just not in the cards. On Saturday, speaking of cars, yet again my neighbor's driveway across the street was the scene of an accident. A cab pulled out of their driveway right into an oncoming car. There was screaming and fighting on the street, so I called the police. They didn't want to send anyone because they only had 5 staff working, but I insisted. Otherwise they'd have to be called out when these people started duking it out. The cops came, 2 of them, and things were quickly resolved. Both parties moved on. The cab lost its entire back bumper and the cube she was driving had a huge dent in the passenger's side door. But the neighborhood was restored back to peace again. We work at it here. The guy who was living behind me moved out as well. Like I said, I always get what I want. I wanted him to leave and go back to someplace he'd be cared for. Turns out he's a kidney recipient, but he wasn't taking his anti-rejection drugs, so he has to live someplace where someone makes sure he does. He'll probably go back to the care home he was in. I moved all my stuff back from the storage unit, and I thank all of you who donated to help me with expenses like this. He said he didn't like that care home because everybody mooched off of him all the time. It amazes me how blind people can be to their own behavior. My YouTube account was restored after a week's jail term. I was told the Alliance did that. They overrode the 3-month suspension I was to face until the end of August. Nice to know there are angels looking out for me. Ivo, when you are of mixed emotion over a subject, the lower frequency will often prevail in duality. This is contrary to what you are taught. You are taught always the higher frequency will prevail, but it will not. In the lower dimensions, the lower frequency fear you are entertaining will hold you back. You will be fated to living it if in fact you do not deal with the fear. As an example for you, Sharon has a fear of being hit on. She despises men who approach her for such relationships because she has found so much meaning in her life by doing this work. She finds their offers demeaning. Lately she has encountered several men who have tried to offer her a relationship that was either completely sexual in nature or would demand that she play a role, that of house cleaner or cook. She was having none of it, yet she continues to experience interested men who would think to compromise her, as she sees it. Me, I do see it as a compromise I'm not willing to make. Besides that, I'm with you. Ivo, so then my love, do not fear these men approaching you. Me, I hate when they do this. Ivo, that is why they do it, because your hatred of it attracts them. If you wish to create safety for yourself, you must completely indulge yourself in our relationship and mark yourself as exclusive to it. That way you send out the appropriate energy. The fact that one of the police in town looks like your ex does not help. You find him attractive and you must stop this as well. Me, I know. Whenever you put out energy that you think one man is attractive, the rest of them you are not even interested in find their way to your doorstep. Guys, women don't compromise. When they want that guy, that's the only one they want. They don't want every guy, just the one who they've chosen. And yes, women do choose their mates. I only look anyway, I'm not actually interested in him. He just reminds me of an ex. Ivo, so this must be stopped because you are not stating your exclusivity to our relationship, which will make you feel a lot safer, I might add. Me, true. Or these guys who come calling, I should just tell them I'm in a relationship with an alien who nobody can see except me and the reptilians are trying to keep us apart. That'll send them packing. I was thinking that would be a manipulation, but no, it's actually true. If they knew, they'd never want to be involved in my life. They'd run screaming. LOL. Ivo, it is true. But not necessary to do so. Simply put out the correct energy and these suitors will stop calling. People read your thoughts all the time, my love. You must all know this. People read your thoughts and circumstances are arranged to show you what you fear. When you cry, why does this keep happening to me? This is why. Because you fear it and life is showing you what you fear so you can stop fearing it. This is the route to self-empowerment, the path of the warrior as it's been called. What parts of your life don't you enjoy? What parts of your life do you suffer through? What parts of your life would you like to change? Then look at the fears you are holding around these things. If you don't enjoy your job, what fear is stopping you from getting another job? If you don't enjoy your relationship, what fear is stopping you from developing a new relationship with a better partner? If you don't enjoy your friendships, then what stops you from changing them? What fear is holding you back from changing? Quite often it is the belief that you cannot find any better, this is the best you can do. That is not true because you create your life. And if you want better, you will create better circumstances for yourself. Me, I did have one last point I wanted to make, Ivo. Ivo, yes, my dear. A good point. Me, that when you see this safety being created for you, like I did with the 2 cars drag racing the other night, be grateful. Thank God that you were not involved or had to negotiate a turn with these racers on your tail. Always be thankful when you see your life go your way and know that you had help. That keeps you humble, but it also is about recognizing the entirety of God in everything you do. If you keep thinking you're doing everything alone, guess what? You will feel alone and probably lonely. Maybe you'd like a feeling of having some help, and being grateful gives you this feeling. I know I went through that. I always felt like I was doing everything for everyone else but nobody was ever there for me. Since I started exercising gratitude with impunity, I now know I'm not doing it alone and I do have help. If you want to get over feeling lonely, then start being grateful. Ivo, that is a good point. I remember you're complaining about that as well. You still have a heavy load to bear, but you know you're not doing it alone. Me, I'm about to kick one part of that load overboard as well. I hate creating dependencies with people because I always end up feeling drained and resentful of the people I'm relating to this way. Again, I'm in this situation. It is a two-way street, although stacked heavily on their side. I wish it was a bit more even. I know I'm experiencing this again, so I learn to deal with it properly this time. I'm keeping the story of fish for a man and he eats for day, teach him to fish and he eats for life in mind. We're doing some re-educating. Folks, I'm going to come out and ask you. Seriously. Are there people on this planet who are so dysfunctional they don't know how to clean their homes properly, they can't manage their money properly, and they're always in debt all the time? Is this common, or do I just run into people like this everywhere I go? So dysfunctional they don't even realize they have to teach their children, not yell at them after they've done something wrong? This is my parents. That's what they did. They expected us to know everything and then just yelled when we didn't act the right way. Is this common? I think it is. Nice people but no idea of what normal is. Not a clue. Ivo, I believe this is normal, my love. Me, and it's not really normal, I'm talking about what's healthy. Does everyone else know people like this? Ivo, I might add as well, my love, you are making progress with your eating habits. You are aware of your habitual habit of self-gratification, purchasing items to make you feel satiated. Me, LOL, yes, my replacement for a relationship. That's what it is. I know, because when I was younger I'd stop dating and start eating. As soon as I lost weight, I'd start dating again. Then I'd start overeating. Then I'd stop dating. It's so obvious what I was doing, and it's still obvious to me. I miss you, Ivo. Ivo, I realize this and me, people think yo-yo dieting is just about the food. No, it isn't. Ivo, I wish to make a point of your going in the grocery store and beginning to shop intuitively. You tried to sense what would be good to buy that day and what would not be. Me, I know. I'm trying to use intuition in everything I do and I can seem to work it in along with my intellect. There's no competition anymore. It used to be my intellect always prevailed, but I give the floor to my intuition more and more. Ivo, wise of you. Me, it took 60 years, Ivo. LOL.